Hello, friends and readers. It's the Book Cook here, coming with another book for you. Well, I guess this is the first book, but this book is Batman: The Three Jokers. I actually picked this up from the local library, which I couldn't believe the great selection they had of graphic novels there, and manga or whatever that stuff's called too, a manga or. So this book basically there's a heist one night in Gotham, and three different parts of the city, and it ends up being headed. Each one is headed by a Joker, so it gets onto the radar bats that there's three Jokers. Like, what's going on here? Who's the real one? Why is there more than one? So on and so forth. So this book dives into the mystery of that, and Bats, Barbara Gordon, who's Batgirl, and Jason Todd, who's the Red Hood. They investigate this. Jason Todd and Batgirl being two of the most directly affected and traumatized characters in DC by the Joker. Um, he murdered Jason Todd, and he paralyzed Barbara Gordon, which also wreaked havoc on Bats himself. This is basically a direct sequel to The Killing Joke. Amazing book, by the way. Really old, really good. Basically, the origin story of the Joker, which was said to not necessarily be continuity, even though there was always nods to it. And I believe now it's solidified into the continuity. So basically, as they get through this mystery to discover who the three Jokers are, where they came from, so on and so forth, it dives a little deeper, I feel, into the emotions and the thoughts of Barbara and Red Hood, which is pretty good. And also into Bats, which you don't even realize until the end. It was funny too, because I felt like he was almost like not making himself a main character in the story, which is odd for a Batman book. Um, but by the time you close the book from the last page, you have a new realization that changes what you thought about the continuity previously. So amazing book, amazing art too. Let me get some of this in there. Mm, just look at that. Look at that. And that's the art that's in the book too, not just these covers that are in the back. You can see it. That's the actual. Oh, I don't want to show you too much. No. Check that out. I love it when they're very consistent about the amazing art, not only throughout the book but on the covers as well. So I almost kind of gave you some spoilers there. This book is not only entertaining, but and you can give me your comments or opinions on this part. I feel like they kind of changed the original continuity, because originally it was the Red Hood was really murdered, like, by the Joker. He was completely killed, and yes, he ended up being brought back later on, but he was murdered, and Barbara was paralyzed. In this book, I feel like they're trying to steer it away from the more mystical side when he came back to life, and that he was just beaten within an inch of his life on purpose so that he would have to live with it, you know, because it more it more gives to the thought that Joker knew that it would ruin Jason Todd what he was doing, and he did it purely for that reason. So I felt that it kind of their kind of nod and change it from a more mystical thing, because when he originally came back, it was like some mystical thing. I think it had to do with Superman or something, with like some mystical ways. But he kind of came back. He was soulless, like a zombie, not really doing anything. But he was ended up. I think he was found by Talia, was it? And dipped in the Lazarus pit. Once that happened, he ended up coming back. And when if you know anything about the Lazarus Pit, then you know that once you dip into it, you can come back kind of mad for a while. And I don't mean angry, which that too, I guess, but mad, like off your rocker. And that has to do with the Red Hood book. But this book itself, great book, great read. I feel like they didn't really draw or plateau throughout the story arc, you know. It was just one after another of cool little things. I definitely recommend the book, for sure. And I definitely think it's something worth not only checking out, but adding to your collection. And you can't go wrong with Geoff Johns, the writer, and Fabok is the, if I'm saying that correctly, sorry if I'm not, as the artist. He has that, to me, he has like a perfect mixture between comic and like this kind of, maybe it's hyper comic slash reality instead of comic slash hyper reality, because he really does well, like really, really well. He's definitely not my favorite artist. My favorite artist, I'd say, that does the Batman stuff. And whenever I see his stuff, I actually, not too long ago, picked up a Wolverine book because he was the one that did it. But Greg Capullo, oh, great art. And I like, I feel like Romita Jr. gets a lot of hate for his art being, some people try to say it's more simplistic or not as clean or whatever, but I don't see that either. And that's why I love Capullo's art, because he knows how to detail, but he knows how to keep it simple too. And his simple, I feel speaks more than most. But I think that about covers it for the book. Maybe I can give you the little synopsis or whatever on the bottom here. Who are the three Jokers? Batman doesn't understand how or why, but the fact is certain. The man he has spent a lifetime chasing isn't one man at all. There are three Jokers. Now that he knows the unbelievable truth, Bruce needs real answers. Joined by Barbara Gordon, Jason Todd, two former victims of the Joker's brutality, the Dark Knight is finally on a path to defeat the Madman once and for all. Every last one of him. It's actually pretty cool. I don't think I actually read that before I read the book. And a lot of times, sometimes I get lazy. You know how they usually have those little scripts in the beginning, or like the prologues or whatever. I usually skip straight over those and right into the book. I don't know. When I want to read something, I want to read it. So, what an amazing book. I was thinking about an idea too. If you guys like the review, give me a comment, give me a like, give me your opinions about the book itself, or even comics, or maybe a book you'd like me to cover. But I also wanted to do something that, like, let's say this video gets 2,000 likes. If this video gets 2,000 likes, I will also do a reading of this book, either on live, or I'll do a reading on a video and then upload it for you guys. So basically you can, and you don't even have to watch the video. You can just pop your headphones in, throw it in your pocket, and you got a story going for you. Because I like to read, and I like to read aloud. So I don't mind bringing the story straight to you, especially because, I mean, not everybody has time to go out and buy comics. Not everybody has time to sit down and read one. Being a single full-time dad myself, I know that you can be well off one second and struggling the next. So any way I can make that easier for you, bring you a little joy or a hobby or anything like that, I'm good with that. Like that's kind of why I wanted to do this and just share cool stuff, and maybe even eventually do some book club collaborations where maybe several of us will read a book. We'll all get on live together and basically hash out the do's, the don'ts, the pros, the cons, and the Joker fishes and the Mr. Mixapitolix or whatever his name is. We can cover whatever. I'm always up to talk about fun things like that. But thanks for watching, especially if you stayed till the end. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the likes, love, and keep reading. And I'll keep bringing you some cool stuff or suggestions for you to check out. And also, I was thinking about doing single issues too. Let me know what you think about that, because I'm a little on the fence about it, because they're so short. So it's like going to be a 2-minute review. But thank you so much, and have a great day.